Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Olufemi Michael. I'm a data analytics instructor. Today we'll be looking at this basic aspect of Microsoft Excel. Let's say you want to write Microsoft Excel test, and the test is to be set around these 9 tasks. Now let's see how we can execute the tasks one after the other. Now, if you look at the tax one, we have how to clear formatted cells. Two, we have how to apply custom on any date format. Three, how to apply currency to figures and how to increase and decrease the decimal. Four, how to use find and replace. Five, how to insert picture and shape into this spreadsheet or a report. Six, how to insert a new sheet and how to delete a sheet. Seven, how to hide and protect your spreadsheet. Eight, how to move or copy. Nine, how to apply filter button to carry out analysis. So now when we successfully execute a task, I will format this particular cell. Now let's go to the dataset 1 where we have our dataset. Now if you want to clear a formatted cell, how do we go about this? Now, as an Excel user, or if you are new to Microsoft Excel, you will need to first know the meaning of formatting in Excel. So what is formatting? Formatting is the process of changing the appearance of your data without changing the data itself. Now look at my table. We have column A to column I, and then if you look at each column header, it was formatted with bold. Now if you also look at the background of the column header, it was also formatted. Now looking at column H and column I, if you look at the data set, the figures under column H and column I, you see that the two columns were also formatted using dollar symbol, that is United States currency. Now let's see how we can clear these formatted cells. To do that, you will need to highlight your table. To highlight, you can do it you can use two ways to highlight. The first one, you need to select your A1 and then you click your Control A. Then it will be highlighted automatically. Right? Now, the other one is this. You will need to know the last row, which is this particular row, 1001, and then you will identify the last column, which is column I. Now you will now come to your name box. You clear the A1 and put your column I, then the 1001, which is the last row. Then you click your shift and enter. Can you see? Now you will now come here, your clear. you click the drop down, then you see clear formats, clear formats, then you click. Now what do you notice? We've been able to clear all the formatted cells, the column, each column header, the color background, the bold, and the currency. This is how to clear your format. This is how to clear any cell that has been formatted on your table or in your table. Now, since we've been able to execute this, then we can come to the tags, then click here, then I'll click my format painter, then I will format this place. That is, we've done the first tags. Now the second task, how to apply custom on any date format. Now let's go back to the second one, the second table. So we want to apply custom on the date format. Now this is the date. Now let's say that you want to import your table from, let's say you want to import from Microsoft Excel to MySQL, and you know that when you are dealing with MySQL, you cannot, MySQL will not allow this kind of date format. It will only allow this, where you have the year, the month, and the day. Now let's say you want to import like that, you want to import this particular data set to MySQL. So that means you will need to format, you will need to use custom on this date, such that you will now have another date, type, another date type. Or let's say you are working on a project and it will require you to change the date type. So how will you execute that? What you need to do is to click the column, and then you come to your general, you click your general, then more number formats, and then you click the date, then you click the custom. Now since what we want to achieve is year, month, and the date, so that will be, you will clear this place, then you put your YYYY slash MM slash DD, then you press your OK. So what do you notice? We have just changed the date type, right? So we'll go back to our tags and we'll format the tags too, since we've done that. So this time I've selected this my cell, and I will just click my format painter and then format here. Task 3, how to apply currency to figures and how to increase and decrease the decimal. So let's move to dataset 3 to do this. Now I want to apply currency to my column I and my column J. For me to do this, what I will just need to do is to select my column I, long press my control, select my column J. Now then I can come here and pick my currency. Have you seen that? So we now have a symbol here, a currency symbol, United States currency. And let's say you want to change it to Naira or another currency type, you will need to come to your more number format. Then you will come to your currency here, you will click the drop down, then you can select any currency you want to use. Now you can click this arrow to increase the decimal. Then you can also reduce the decimal here. Don't forget, as I'm doing this, you will see the effect on the column. Now let's leave it here, and let me just press OK. Now let me show you the one of the interface. Now if you look at this one will mean to decrease decimal. So if I click, you will see that the 0 will reduce. Now if I want to increase, then I will click here and the 0 will also increase. Good. So we've done this. We'll go back to our task and we click our format printer, then we click cell. Good. Task 4, how to use find and replace. Now let's say you have a table that contains different products. Now you want to, let's say you want to replace the text here. You know, we have baskets here, baskets. You want to let's say you want to replace all the cells that contains baskets. Let's say you want to replace it with jug. Now how do we go about that? Now it's very simple. The first thing we need to do is to highlight your table. Now to highlight your table, don't forget, you click your first cell, A1, then your Control A, or the second method I showed you. Now you will now come to find and select. So under find and select, you will click your replace. So now you want to find basket, right? You want to replace your basket, so you press your basket and then replace it with jug. Then you put your jug and then you click replace all. Now what do you see here? All done. We made 552 replacements. You click your OK, then you close. Now if you look at your table now, you now have jug, jug, jug. So anywhere you see baskets, what you are going to see there is what? Jug. Now if you want to confirm again, you can just add a filter button here. Go to your data, then click your filter button, then click your the arrow here, uncheck everything, and just scroll up, click your jog and press your OK. So what do you notice here? You see that anywhere you see jog, that means that cell has been anywhere you see jog, that means that cell has been replaced with jog, right? So this is how to use find and replace in Microsoft Excel. Now to go back again, we've done this task, so we click format printer, then we format here. Good. Let's move to task 5, how to insert picture and shape into the spreadsheet or a report. Now let's say that you are working on a particular data set and you want to insert a picture to communicate to your audience or a shape to communicate to your audience. How can we insert picture and shape into the spreadsheet? How can we do that? Now let's go to the sheet. Now let's say I want to insert a picture here. and a shape. How do we go about that? Now you will come to your insert. So under insert, you will see illustrations. You click illustrations, then you click pictures. Now I have my picture inside my laptop, so I will click this device. So I will just wait a bit. Now I will pick a picture here. I will pick this, then I will insert. Now I have my picture here. So this is the picture. I have successfully inserted my picture. So I can also reduce my picture like this. I can make it smaller, right? So now let's go to the second one. Now I want to insert a shape. To insert a shape, what I will just do is to come to shape, click, then insert my shape. Just draw the shape like this, then I will drop it. So, and I have my shape. So I can also format my shape. I can put a shape outline, put orange, then I can also remove the color, no fill. Then this is my shape. I can expand my shape. So I've expanded my shape. I can also reduce my shape. So this is how you can insert picture and shape. And another thing is that, for instance, for the pictures, you can also go online to search for pictures depending on the one you want to use to communicate to your audience. Good. But don't forget, if you want to do that, you need to be connected. Good. Now I'm done with this. Then I will go back to the tags. Then I will click my format painter. Good. Now we have tag 6 now. We want to do tag 6 now. Let's look at that. How to insert a new sheet and how to delete a sheet. Now let's go to this particular sheet and let me use this to explain. Now, how to add a new sheet. So let's say I want to insert a new sheet. How will I go about that? Now you will locate this particular plus sign. What do you notice here? New sheet. Just click. You will have a new sheet. So we now have a new sheet. So let's say I want to delete this sheet. I don't want it again and I want to delete it. How will I go about that? What you just need to do is to right click and then click your delete. You won't see it again. So we've done that. Now we'll go back to my tags and format my tag 6 using format painter. Good. Now let's move to tag 7. How to hide and protect your spreadsheet. Now let's say that you want to hide your spreadsheet. You want to protect your spreadsheet. How do we go about that? Now, if you want to hide your spreadsheet, let's use this to carry out the task. Let's say I want to hide this spreadsheet. What I will just need to do is to right click and click hide and click hide. So now if you look at the sheet now, you can no longer see the sheet again. Now if I come here and I click on hide dataset 4, then I press OK. what will happen? You will see dataset 4 again. So now let's say I want to protect my sheet. So if I want to protect this sheet, I can also right click and click protect sheet. Now I will use 1234 password. Then I will press OK. Then I will put it again, 1234. Then I will press OK. Now what do you see here? You see a faint interface. It means I have protected my sheet, I have locked it. So you cannot do anything on this sheet unless I unlock it. So let me try to do something on this sheet. What do you see? The cell or chart you are trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make a change, unprotect the sheet. You might be requested to enter a password. So that will not be possible. So for me to have access to my sheet, I will need to unprotect the sheet. To do that, I will ensure that I put back my password and I will press OK. So can you see now? My interface is now active. I can now press anything I want to press. It will respond. Good. Now we've done this task. We'll go back to the task. We click on format printer and then we format this place. Task 8. How to move or copy. Now let's use this as an example. Now look at my table. Let's say I want to move this particular table, or let's use this filter table. Let's say I want to move this, I want to have another copy of this table. I want to have another copy of this table. Another copy of this table, which means another sheet. So what I will need to do is to right click, then you will click move or copy. So now you will scroll up till you get to move to end. You click move to end, create a copy, then you press OK. Now what do you see here? We now have another copy of filter table. Another copy of filter table. So I have just moved or copied any of the two, right? So I now have a new copy of this particular sheet. A new copy of this particular sheet. So now to delete, remember I taught you how to delete the other time. You just delete. Yes, just delete. Now we've done this. We'll go back to the tags, to format. Click your format printer, then you format. So now let's look at the last one. How to apply filter button to carry out analysis. Now let's say you want to analyze this data. Let's say you want to analyze this data. You want to know the transaction that occurred in a particular day. The transaction that occurred in a particular day. Now to know the transaction that occurred on a particular day, you will need to, let's say that, okay, for instance, you want to know the transaction that occurred on 4/25/2023, that is this particular day. Then we can make use of our filter button. So the first thing you will need to do is to format as table. You format this particular table. So now you will just, after selecting this header, you will just come to format as table. You will click and then you will click. You press press your OK. Now we have a we now have a button here, a filter button here on each column. On each column. Now, don't forget what we want to do. We want to analyze this particular data. We want to know the transaction that happened on each day. On each day. And I say we will look at this particular 4/25/2023. So now, after applying a filter button, then I want to extract insight to know the transaction that occurred that particular day. So the next thing I'm going to do is to click the header, then I will click insert slicer. So now I will check my dates. Now press OK. So now I have this particular filter button here. So let's just, because of time, let's just check any dates and see the transaction that occur on that day. So now let's say we want to check for 1/5/2023. I will just click. Now what do you notice here? Now we now have 1/5/2023. We have the transaction ID, we have the customer ID, we have the person that made the purchase that day, gender female, age 57, the age group, the product category, what she bought, electronics, quantity 1, sales price 50, the revenue 50. Also for that same day, we also have a male, age 19, between 18 to 24, product category beauty, quantity 2, sales price 25, revenue 50. Then we also have another female again, age 60, age group between 54 and 64, electronics, the product category, quantity 2, sales price 500, revenue 1000. So I have just extracted insights from my data set. Then I can present this to the board to let them see the transaction that occurred that particular day, 1/5/2023. So once I'm done, I will just clear my slicer. I will just clear it. Then maybe I'm told to extract insights on this particular date. Let's say I'm told to extract insight from this particular date. What I'm just going to do is what? I will just click again, then it will show again. Then I can extract my insights and know the gender, the age group, the product purchased, the number of quantity purchased, the price, and then the revenue realized that particular day. Once I'm done, I will just clear my filter button. I will just clear it this way. Then I will be through with my presentation. So since we've been able to execute this again, I will click my tax, then my format painter, then I will format here. Now we've been able to carry out these 9 tasks in Microsoft Excel. I hope you've learned something today. If you find my video useful, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for you to be able to see more of my videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.